Hey, what's up? This is your boy, Asiago, here on 3M Thoughts, man. So, it's almost 5 in the morning here, actually. So, I was just chilling, playing some PS4. And then I had to go to the toilet. I spent some time on Facebook and stuff, collecting memes from my meme page. It was all good. But then I realized, oh crap, it's almost freaking 5 a.m. I wanted to record this thing before I go to bed. So here I am doing it right now. Freaking 4:42 a.m. right now, man. This is like the 4 a.m. hour, man. Like, the way I see it, 3 a.m. is the last, it's the last hour you can really consider it to be late night, and then 5 a.m. is truly the first hour you can identify as early in the morning. Because definitely by 5 a.m. It's not so taboo for people to be out and about because a lot of people are going to work. Shoot, even on weekends. But then really at 3 a.m. You don't really see a lot of people going out to go to work or anything like that. You don't see people out and about at all at that time. But 4 a.m. that's it's kind of a special it's sort of a special case, because it's a combination. Some people see it as really, really late because they're like, oh man, it's 4 a.m. man, I gotta get to bed, it's super late right now. Or for some people they're like, oh, and they're like, they wake up at 4 a.m. they're like, I gotta go to freaking work now, I gotta go clock in at 5, or something like that. I don't know, 4 a.m. has always been a weird time for me. It's not too often that I'm actually at work at 4 a.m. I mean, hell, hell, man. When I am at work all the way at 4 a.m., shoot, it feels late for sure. That's because I'm just doing stuff here. I'm actually coming out of freaking work. But I remember there was a time though. There was a time where I actually did have to be at work at 4 a.m. And I remember having to wake up at freaking 3:45. And let me tell you, that little period, which it was a temporary position. I had to come in at freaking 4 in the morning. The good thing was that I got off at 1, which you would think that would be a pretty good position, right? But the thing was that I still had to actually wake up early in the morning. So sure, I got off at 1, but I still need to be able to wake up at freaking 3 to get to clock in up by 4. So I had to sleep earlier. And definitely back then, I was more of a normie. I had more of a normie sleep schedule. So I wasn't over here chugging energy drinks all the time, freaking being a master of the night, or being able to master a good 6, 5, even 4 hours of sleep if need be. But shoot, I remember having to freaking go to bed at freaking 10, and my friends who are used to freaking being up at night all the time, they would always be blowing on my phone. I'm over here trying to sleep, so it wasn't the best of times. But still though, 4 a.m. It's a really odd time. Some people are waking up. Some people, they're going to bed. It's a very versatile hour. You can consider it late at night, or you can consider it super early in the morning. Whatever you prefer to call it, it's exactly that. Shoot, it's too early to be late at night, and it's too late to be I kind of lost track there. But you get the idea, though. You get the idea. All right, so if you're gonna hear me eat, in this podcast here, because I got a couple snacks right here. I'm just chilling. I got my water with me. God, I love water. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but water is ironically my favorite drink. There's so many really great drinks out there. There's root beer, there's freaking pina colada, there's all these other drinks. But for some reason, my favorite beverage of all time has always been water. Shoot, I I don't know. Maybe there's some weird connection with that. Maybe it's because of the fact that I work a lot, so I drink a lot of water. Or even back in the day, even back in my school, grade school, I used to always have a bottle of water on me. Even if I didn't drink much water, I would always be drinking water. Now I definitely know I'm not alone in the boat here, because everybody needs to drink water. But still, though, I don't know, shoot, you can never catch me in my room without a water bottle. I mean, even if I'm not drinking, necessarily drinking it, even if it's not even I may be sitting on my couch and my freaking water is sitting over there in my freaking, dresser or something like that. Still, you can never catch me, without a water bottle within with a 5-foot radius of me. Hell, freaking at work. I'm able to fit 2 large water bottles in my vest pocket. So that's pretty damn good. Shit, that's all Gucci right there. Oh gosh, it's so good. So what I'm currently eating right now is a Reese's Fast Break. God, if I would have freaking known that these existed, God, I would have been eating them a lot earlier, man. Because it's basically, an entire Reese's peanut butter cup, but they just elongated it into an entire bar. So it's not like the ones where they put all the nuts in it. It's not like the ones where they just made it into a freaking Nutty Buddy. Like that freaking what's that? That freaking what's the company that makes honey buns and stuff like that? Like Debbie something, Lil Debbie. It's not like that. But shoot though, this is straight up exactly, what I think it is. It's just an elongated freaking Reese's peanut butter cup. And I freaking love it. Because, Reese's has always been my favorite candy. Definitely still is today. And shoot, and for the longest time, freaking Reese's cereal was my favorite. It's my favorite cereal. Now, Reese's cereal, it's still one of my favorite cereals. But it's not but, it's definitely in the top 5. Currently, no, I'm more into fruity cereals. Definitely Fruity Pebbles is, probably my favorite at the moment. Right next to that would be, Captain Crunch or something. But still, though, the point is, I've always loved Reese's. Actually, now when I think about it, how the hell did I get from 4 a.m. to snacks? Oh, yeah. I was mentioning that I was, eating snacks here. God, that's good. Alright, so now let's actually get on to whatever I wanted to talk about here. So I noticed back in the last podcast, I was mentioning something. I mentioned something in the beginning, and I wanted to talk about it, but it kind of evolved and I went on a whole different tangent. So back in the last episode, I said that I wanted to talk about why I hated the fact why I hated whenever freaking oh god, let me start over here. I hate how every 2 years freaking everyone around me, freaking Facebook, TV, whatever, freaking everywhere, people are telling me to go vote. I find it very annoying, and I refuse to vote. Now I don't think I ever mentioned why I don't like voting, or why I don't even vote at all. Why I choose not to vote. Shoot. Because here's the thing. Yes, it is one of our rights. We have the right to vote. But the thing is, though, I also have the right to not exercise, my ability to vote. And apparently, a lot of people just go freaking ape crap whenever I say that. They're freaking like, oh, why the hell aren't you exercising your right? Man, you communist scum. God, why aren't you voting for my president? I mean, your president of choice. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to press you to vote for my, preferred president. Yeah, golly, freaking people act like, and even if I straight up tell them that, okay, if I were to vote, I'm not voting for who you want me to vote for. Even when I say that, freaking they still go ape crap whenever I say that I'm still not, voting, period. and freaking people go ape crap about that. Again, it's like I was saying back in the last episode. People take this stuff way too freaking seriously. They freaking become like religious about it, and it really just it really bugs the hell out of me. Freaking, and yes, this happens every 2 years. I mean, it preferably should be every 4 years, but freaking, you have the freaking not the midterms. Well, actually, I think it is called the midterms. Freaking where they change out the people in the House and the Senate, and freaking, you gotta vote those people in and out, and it freaking in both cases, whether we're voting to change those people out or voting for the next president, it's the same damn thing, and it's short spans of time. Like, I just want peace. Can you stop telling me to vote? Can you stop telling me why it's all great, why I should do it? Freaking God, like, just leave me alone on this stuff. Like, just let me live my life. Don't get all pissy just because I choose. Because I mean, truly, I have the right to choose. So I choose not to vote. Don't get all pissy because I'm not exercising my right to vote. Hell, look at the Second Amendment. We got the right to freaking, believe in God, but you don't believe in God. I mean, shoot. And in that case, why aren't you believing in God? See how annoying that is? Stop annoying me. Shoot. And so, like, let's go deeper to why I choose not to vote. Actually, I don't think I actually went into why I don't actually want to vote. So, I used to be, I used to think, hey, when I get old enough, I think, I'm gonna, want to vote, because why not? I'm an American, and that's what some Americans do. But then I found out that, it takes more than just being a legal citizen of the United States to vote. You gotta, like, register to do so. And when you register, you can get pulled for, like, jury duty and stuff. And, like, and I saw that as just a big inconvenience. So I just, like, I didn't want to freaking, go with that stuff just for that reason alone. But then I realized that, my vote counts, but it doesn't matter. Now, let me explain. Like, so definitely when it comes to the popular vote and stuff, definitely when it comes to being counted, as a person that voted, yes, it counts. I become a statistic. I become a number. But me posting my decision in the ballot doesn't affect the government any which way. Because think about it. Look, if our votes actually mattered, Hillary Clinton would be in office right now. Like, let's be honest. Hillary Clinton would be, in office right now. I remember back in 2016, so many people were freaking pissed, man. They were so pissed whenever freaking they saw that Hillary won the popular vote, but she didn't become president because she didn't win the big vote, the big vote that actually mattered, which, those people voted for Trump. So who actually makes the real decisions for us? Electoral College. Now, how do Electoral College make their votes? Let's see. Well, you go into you go deeper here. You got people, us normie, citizen folk. We put our votes in, and our votes don't do a damn thing to the federal government, but they do. But they do influence the governors of our state, to vote for a certain, to vote for, whatever president. Like, let's say in the state of Texas, the governor, he's looking at, how many people in this state, voted Democrat, how many people in the state voted Republican. Let's just say, maybe one's 50%, one's 51%. He's more than likely, his vote is probably going to go, with the one that's 51%. Whether it's his choice or not. But in some states, like, that doesn't matter because they can just vote for whoever they want. Like, it's really the bigger people who actually have the power here, and they're already in power. So that kind of they already got power, so of course they would have the power to choose for us. Go figure. And then freaking electoral college, they make their votes based off the votes casted from from the governors of the state, from the bigger people. So really, it's always the bigger people, that make the votes, and whatever, like, it's not a big deal to me. I'm not gonna combat it, because no matter what, whoever's in office, they don't keep their promises anyways. I mean, they might do a couple of things, but hey, Mr. Trump, I mean, where's the ginormous freaking wall that you promised? I mean, I see that you started, constructing it at all, and that definitely would have came in handy, when this pandemic, started happening. Well, I mean, actually, I'm not sure if it would necessarily become handy, because I don't think Mexicans right now are really concerned with going into the U.S. with, with this whole thing going on and all. But still, though, like, shoot, and immigration is an entirely different topic that I will get in, not later in this episode, but at some point. At some point. I don't feel like getting into it right now. Like, again, this is just my opener here. So I don't want it to be my main thing. So yeah. So basically, no matter what we do, no matter how you think about it, I mean, you can go ahead and be all freaking, oh, but our votes matter because I believe it too. Yeah, like, you can't take away my vote. You're correct. No one can take your vote. No one can take your right to believe that you can, influence the government, but you can't. Look, maybe way back in the 1700s, when the whole population of the U.S. was maybe 200 and something people, across all 13 states. Yeah, maybe back in those days, your vote not only counted but actually mattered too. Maybe back then, but as time goes on, the country has expanded their borders, and in turn also expanded the amount of people that lived here, and with all that stuff even happening before the dawn of computers and stuff. Yeah, I mean, obviously there would come a point to where votes just become this sort of pseudo, this whole pseudo belief thing where, hey, technically our rights there, we could still cast our votes into a ballot, but it really doesn't do a thing, whatever. A lot of people take it super seriously, but then and here's the thing, one thing that always bothered me, as I got older and learned about voting, is that why should me, an American citizen, I was born here, I got my social security number, I've lived here all my life, I've even to this day, I've never left the borders of the United States. Why should I need to register to vote? It doesn't make sense. It makes sense if I need to register, to sign up, for the military, because that's a voluntary thing people need to do. It makes sense for me, to register, to apply for a job, because again, that's not, something that's automatically given to me, but our rights from, us as American citizens, our rights, that's, those are things that are given to us at birth. I mean, that's why a lot of illegal immigrants, come, they come over the border and lay anchor babies, so not only they can have rights, the children, but also the parents can also have rights. I mean, so, and then all that includes the right to vote. But why should our right to vote, the thing that's been given to us since we're birthed, why should I have to register for that? It doesn't make sense. Especially with me being a legal American citizen, lived here all my life, why the hell should I have to freaking register to vote? Why? I should be able to just walk up to a ballot, without having to sign anything, without having to register at all, and just cast a vote. That's all I should do. I mean, maybe at best, you should just check my social security, but literally, that's that should be all. That really should be all. But no, they freaking have to make it complicated and stuff, and you know what? And I don't feel like sitting and looking it up right now, because again, why would I research some, why would I research about some that I'm not gonna do regardless? So so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Voting doesn't do a damn thing. and you can't stop me from not voting. So stop crying. Okay, I have no idea if that freaking. I have no idea if the mic picked that up, but I just farted right now. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, shoot. As a matter of fact, okay, I'm gonna do a little pro gamer move here. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so I have a kind of a list of topics here that I wanted to talk about. So, and he's actually kind of, starting off this podcast, I didn't really need to, make a list of podcasts or anything. But as time goes on, start to realize that there's only so many things you can come up with, randomly in my head. Sure, like when I started off this podcast, like this morning here, yeah, like there was. Yeah, like there's so many things I was just randomly talking about. I was talking about the time. I was talking about the food I was eating. Yeah, sure. But there are also just more specific things I wanted to talk about. So now I started just making a list, and two, just in case if I just accidentally or not accidentally, like just in case if I run out of steam on a certain topic, I got a little list here and I can just switch over to something else. Let's see, but I'm not gonna I'm not looking forward to depending on it or anything like that. It's just a little visual aid here. All right, so so speaking of how late it is, shoot, this makes me so glad that I have mastered the art of energy drinks, man. Shoot, I tell you, energy drinks are freaking great. I love them. It's my coffee. Because I'm going to tell you straight up right now, I hate coffee with a passion here. Let me take another bite. Oh, God. It's melting. So glad it's not melting in my hand. It's melting in the wrapper. Damn. Oh, no. I'm guessing it's because I've been holding it without eating it for so long. I'm guessing the heat from my hand is making it melt. But whatever, though. It's in the wrapper, so I don't really care. Yeah, so freaking coffee, man. Look. I'm not knocking on anybody that likes coffee, that likes drinking coffee. Nothing on y'all at all. It's just that I don't like coffee. I really don't. But here's the funny thing. I absolutely love the smell of coffee. Coffee, it just smells so freaking good. Every time I enter the break room and I smell that coffee machine going, man, my heart starts burning passionately. Freaking, I just start getting all happy. Man, the smell of coffee is one of my most favorite smells of all time. I remember as a kid, freaking when I would go grocery shopping with my mom, man, freaking we go buy the coffee aisle and I would just love smelling it. Shoot. And even when when my manager tells me to go stock the coffee aisle, man, I freaking just love smelling the coffee, right from the freaking package. Although a lot of times that that indicates that the package is open and I shouldn't stock it. And so that's also a warning. But still, God, I love the smell of coffee, but I just can't get myself to like it. I don't like the taste, whatsoever. Now, a lot of people suggested, that I should use, creamer or something like that. Which, I'm still thinking about it. But the thing is, though, is that, I just want to be able to just drink straight up coffee, though. But I don't know. It's a normal thing, for people to just put creamer and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's good. But then again, I'm pretty good with energy drinks right now, and I don't let's say I actually do drink coffee with creamer and I end up liking it. I already know that I'm either gonna create an addiction for it, or I'm gonna freaking just start wanting to drink it more often. And knowing me and my waking up habits, yeah, theoretically I could just get a coffee maker from my room and start making coffee. Right in the freaking morning or not in the morning, right in the afternoon, but when I wake up, when I was getting ready for work, and do all that. But then I'm also a bit lazy too, so I kind of don't want to do all that. And let's see. Well, I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens. Because if there is a coffee that I end up drinking, let's see. There is this one that I see every time I stalk, the coffee aisle. It's called Death Wish coffee. Now I think it's called this. Yeah, it's called Death Wish because it's got a lot of caffeine and stuff. So it's meant to hype you up. I hadn't seen how much caffeine it has, and I want to compare it to an energy drink because chances are it probably has as much as an energy drink, maybe slightly more, or maybe it just has more than your average coffee, and it has nothing on a Monster or something like that. Shoot, but bottom line, for now, as it stands, coffee to me is like soap. And let me tell you why. Coffee is like soap because it smells delightful, but it tastes horrible. So far without creamer. And again, I might try it with creamer, but I kind of don't want to, because again, if I start liking it, I'm not gonna want to take the liberty I don't want to take the time to actually buy a coffee maker and start making coffee for myself all the time. Then again, if I do, if I get it from my room, I can start making my room smell like coffee, which, I wouldn't mind. I definitely wouldn't mind. Hell, I'm going around the freaking candle section, looking at all the scent, I call them scentsies, but they're the, the scented waxes that you put into those, heating things, and it melts the wax, and it makes the room smell good. I'm trying to look for one that's like that smells just like coffee, but so far I am out of luck. But damn, if there's any way I can make my room smell like coffee, and if that's the only way I can do it, I don't know. I might try it for just that reason. Hell, I've done many things for stupid reasons. Like, literally, I bought an entire console just to play one game. I didn't buy it. I remember for my 14th birthday, I asked for a PS3. Why did I ask for a PS3? Not just so I could play all the latest games that everybody else was playing, because at the time I was really content with just, playing my Wii, playing Super Mario Galaxy, and I wasn't really concerned with, what everybody is playing. Even now, I'm not really too concerned, but I do follow the gaming community more closely, and I actually do play a lot of the more modern games that come out. But back in the day though, hell, really. Freaking television commercials were more of how I got updates of what games are coming out now. And shoot, I think at the time the most modern game I had was freaking Super Mario Galaxy 2, which is my favorite Super Mario game, by the way. It is my absolute favorite. Freaking so many good memories. I'm so glad it's on my freaking modded Wii, fully downloaded. Shoot, I keep on forgetting to play it too. Well, then again, I'm also playing a whole lot of other games on my other consoles, so whatever. I'll get to it eventually. But anyways, so I literally asked for a PS3 just so I can play Grand Theft Auto 4. For real. That's the only reason why I asked for a PS3, because I wanted to play that one game, and for the most part, that was pretty much the only game I would play on it. Now, also, I played, Modern Warfare 3. I played Assassin's Creed 3. I played a couple of other games that weren't Grand Theft Auto related, but definitely for the most part, for the majority of the first half I had it, I was playing GTA 4. And then when GTA 5 came out, that became the new main game I was playing. Shoot, for real, definitely, it wasn't even a regular PlayStation for me anymore. It was just a Grand Theft Auto machine. Now, nothing wrong with Grand Theft Auto. It was definitely one of the best games that I've ever played. Only thing was that I wish I really would have taken advantage of the fact that I had a PlayStation instead of an Xbox. There were so many exclusives. Now, I'm not knocking on the exclusives for the Xbox, at least not really, but PlayStation just has a lot more. And for the most part, I also enjoy them more. Seeing that, PlayStation wants to be more like Nintendo, and so their games were kind of reflect that. And what I mean by more like Nintendo is that, you know, they try to, you know, put more heart into their into their exclusives and stuff like Nintendo does. And you could definitely, you know, the works, you know, the fruits of their labor definitely do show. And like, man, I really wish I would have taken advantage, you know, of the fact that I had a PlayStation. Because there's so many great games I could have played at the time, like freaking Uncharted, PlayStation All Stars, what was the game, Sly Cooper, and all that. Shoot, I mean, I got a PS1 and I got a PlayStation 4, you know, so I can. Shoot, mommy, I doubt like most of the exclusives I know are freaking on the PS1, but definitely, you know, I can find versions of a lot of those games like Infamous and stuff, you know, for my PS4. So I mean, we'll see about that. I actually recently just picked up, let's see, God of War 3, for the PS4. Haven't played it yet. Shoot, and I want to see if there's if there's a way I can buy or download let's see, PS4 versions, or bro, I don't care if they're remasters, I don't care if they're ports, but I also want I want the original, the entire trilogy. So I also want God of War 1 and 2. I actually currently have the most recent one too, because when I bought my PS4 on Black Friday, it was actually one of the games that I bought with it. I mean, not bought with it. It was one that, like, because when I bought my PS4, it was for $200. I got the regular one, not the Pro. It was 200. Yeah, it was 1 terabyte, and it came with 3 games. Last of Us, which actually came on disc, and 2 games which I actually had to download, but I got download codes from. One was Horizon, and then one was the latest God of War. I think it's just called God of War. I don't think it's called God of War 4 or anything like that. So, but I heard like the gameplay is definitely different when it comes to God of War 4. I'm excited to play it, but also I want to play God of War 3 because I'm definitely more into those hack and slash games. And shoot, and seeing that there's another game in the same franchise, you know, that has a different style of gameplay, yeah, definitely, you know, I'm really up to, like, you know, comparing the two. Shoot, so, damn. Speaking of Last of Us, I gotta tell you, man, I love that game. Now, it's for me, it's really hard, and I'm telling you, it's really hard for a game to get on my top, 5 favorites list. Man, I tell you, Last of Us, like, it got on my top 5 real quick. And my top 5 is, it stayed the same for a long time. It consists of Super Smash Brothers, Dr. Mario, Assassin's Creed 3, Banjo-Kazooie, which is number 1, and let's see, in the original Super Mario Brothers. But shoot, like, freaking Last of Us came through and then it replaced one of the games on my top 5. So Super Mario Brothers fell off, but shoot, like, I still got all those other games on there, and really, like, what I base my favorites on is, like, how much I actually really love the game, how much I freaking like, really got into the game. Like, actually, I'm surprisingly, Super Mario Galaxy 2 is not up there, but that's because, like, the other games I got really into, going back into those games, freaking, they bring back so many memories. And same thing for GTA. GTA would have definitely, I mean, it was in the top 5 for a good while. But other games took it over. And Dr. Mario has just always been in my top 5. I mean, if I'm bored, and I don't exactly want to play my PS4 or my Nintendo 64 or my Genesis or whatever, freaking, I just pop in Dr. Mario and I can play that for hours without getting bored. I mean, it's like, it's like, like Dr. Mario for my NES is like how Minecraft is for my Switch. It's so addicting. I can play it for hours without getting bored. I can play it for hours and not realize hours have passed by. Like, I just love the game. I freaking love it. I mean, it's so good. I put it on my top 5. But damn, Last of Us, it got up there so freaking quickly, man. I love the story. I loved walking all around, exploring, this post-apocalyptic world. I love the story of it too. Really, freaking the story of finding, finding a cure for the infected, man. And I'm so glad. I was so freaking glad that freaking the game actually ended up turning out like much freaking different than I thought it was gonna be. Cause hearing about it, hearing that was a zombie game, I was thinking, man, it's gonna be one of those games where you freaking have like unlimited bullets. You're shooting a horde of zombies, and that's what you're doing the entire game. And actually, it turns out the game I was actually like that style of gameplay that I was describing actually describes freaking Dead Rising like very well. Or is it called Dead Rising? I don't know. It's that one game where you're like a mall cop or something like that, or you're in a mall and you're freaking fighting off a horde of zombies. With whatever you got. But still, I thought it was gonna be something like that. But I saw how like deep the story was. How deep the story was, and the fact that you weren't actually, really, when I think about it, more than half the time you were actually more so fighting other people, not so much zombies. It's like, the zombies, yeah, I mean, they're a big part of the game, but it's more so like the people affected by this post-apocalyptic world that you're actually fighting against. And that's what I really liked. Like playing through it, it reminded me of shows I really loved, like The 100. God, The 100. I still hadn't finished it. Like I think I remember going to I remember this one guy. Let's see. He found this mansion or something like that, where this woman, where she was actually like an android or something like that. I remember that part, and I remember eventually, and it took him a while, but he eventually escaped that mansion where the android lady held him hostage, or not hostage, well, held him prisoner for a while. But I don't remember too much of that. I remember this girl named Octavia dying, supposedly dying, and then come to find out she became like the leader of the freaking native tribe or something like that. It's been a long time. I gotta watch that show again. I don't care if it's on Netflix or Hulu, or if I gotta freaking find a way to stream it online, pirated somewhere. Like, I gotta watch that show again, man, because I love post-apocalyptic shows or movies. I love seeing, because it's one thing. It's one thing to have an apocalyptic movie where oh my god, the rapture's happening. God is taking all the saints and just leaving all the sinners. Or freaking, China just launched a nuclear bomb and now Russia's launching everything. Oh my god, it's a nuclear fallout. Or freaking, the robots are taking over. The zombies are taking over. The aliens are taking over. What's going on here? It's one thing to make an apocalyptic movie, and then there's 2012, but it's another thing to make a story based off, what happens next. What happens after the big event. Whether the good guys win or not. What happens after the end. And that's what I've always been more interested in. Hell, you get stuff like Hunger Games, The 100, whatever, man. You get... I love seeing how people get creative of how society ends up rebuilding itself or crumbles itself under the weight of an apocalypse. Shoot, and Last of Us does that really freaking well. I like most of the time I felt like I was playing an actual interactive movie, which I think that's kind of the point these days, with a lot of these modern games, especially games like Last of Us. The whole point is to be pretty much an interactive movie. And God, I mean, in the way I was playing it and the way I was kind of prolonging it to feel like a TV show. Yeah, it definitely felt like an interactive TV show, and I freaking love it to death. God, I mean, if Last of Us was a TV show, I would binge the hell out of it, man. It is so good, and like, because these days, here's the thing, and I have this friend, he loves introducing me, to new animes, to new movies, into new shows. But the thing is, like, ever since I got into anime, it's almost like impossible, to get me to watch anything that's not anime. Because really that's all I'm interested in watching these days. Now, freaking, it wasn't always like that. I mean, I literally just got into anime like a year ago, but let's see. But like, way back in the day, I remember back when it was on Netflix, I used to, I think I watched every episode of Futurama, or at least every episode up to like that episode called Reincarnation or something like that. I had no idea they made episodes after that, and I had not seen any of those. So there's a lot of stuff I want to, watch there. I remember I watched the entire original Ben 10 series, and at some point, because I kind of consider the entire original Ben 10 canon like an kind of like an anime. I mean, or at least an honorary anime. Like everything from the original Ben 10 series all the way up to like Omniverse. Like, and I remember I used to watch clips of like of all the different shows, and I really like them. So I want to binge watch everything from the beginning all the way through. And God, I'm staying away from that damn reboot, but I want to watch it all the way through again. Let's see what else. I remember my favorite shows at the time were these two shows, and they were made by the same guy. Let's see, you got Raising Hope and My Name is Earl. Freaking, I absolutely loved My Name is Earl, like, for the longest time. Way before I started watching anime and stuff like that, My Name is Earl was always my top #1 favorite show. Literally, it wasn't until I started watching My Hero Academia and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure last year that, it wasn't until then that I freaking... it wasn't until then that, it was always in my favorite freaking #1 spot. And I absolutely love the show. Like, because, and here's the thing, I also love, movies and TV shows about people that, that better themselves, that go out and make the effort, they kind of right all the wrongs they do. Like, but like, whether you see it as a moral thing, whether you see it as kind of like, a guy just trying to better himself or whatever, I love stuff like that, because you don't really see that portrayed in the media, like explicitly too much. Like, it's always about people, it's always in the negatives, man. It's always about people, doing wrong and then getting negative feedback because of it, and then they progressively get worse. Kind of like the Joker 2019, but like I love freaking whenever I see stories of people bettering themselves, trying to become better people, and that's why I really love My Name is Earl, and they did it in such a way to where it was comedic. It was actually more so, it was like almost like a dramedy almost. And I love the setting, I love the characters, I love the, I love like how they, how things went, man. Like, and I was so, the show ended in a cliffhanger, and they promised a movie, but that never came out. Like, oh, that drives me nuts, even to this day. Like, I mean, maybe there's like a straight to DVD movie, I'm not sure. I mean, I doubt there is, but man, like, God. And then by the same guy, I see, and then I saw Raising Hope, which definitely, you can tell that My Name is Earl and Raising Hope were made by the same guy, because, well, not just because of the end credits, it straight up says that it was made by the same guy, but also like, and just the way the filmmaking is, the way the directing is, like, it's very similar. Like both shows, they share a lot of similar clicks. Hell, they even made a couple of crossovers. But shoot, like, God, did I freaking love Raising Hope as well. Freaking, my parents did too, and they actually binge watched the entire show. And over here, I only watched like maybe like the first like 2 seasons. Let's see, and I the reason why I didn't binge the rest of it was because I think at the time there was only like a couple of seasons on Netflix, and I just watched everything that Netflix had. And I remember, let's see, I remember Jimmy actually gets married, or does he get married to Sabrina? I'm not sure. I know definitely they're living in the same house together. But I don't remember if they actually got married or not. But still, like, I mean, I remember things up to that point. And again, even at that, you know, it's like the last time I watched that show was way back in like 2013, 2014, somewhere around that time, like freaking 6 or 7 years ago. God, like it's been a long time, man. You know, it's been such a freaking long time. God. Man, those shows bring back memories. They like from the music to the characters to just everything. Oh, and another show, 2 other shows that I freaking really love. There's the Goldbergs. Oh God, I really do love the Goldbergs, man. Like, I mean, take, you know, like freaking like not exactly cheesy, but man, like, it's just like, you know, a show that takes place in the 80s. You know, show, you know, it's depicting like you know, the childhood of you know, this film director, and I really do love it. It's another show where I love the characters and stuff. There's Fresh Off the Boat, which not same studio, same channel being aired, but it takes place in the next decade. Yeah, it takes place in the next decade, and like I mean, I don't think necessarily the show was made by the same people or whatnot, but definitely, you know, that same charm is still there. Shoot, you know, it's about, you know, foreigners, you know, living here in America back in the 90s. And you know, they're just trying to make something of this of themselves, you know, adapting, you know, not adapting. You know, just, you know, be just like, you know, living the life, you know, just living the life here in America. And it's another great show. God, I remember Roseanne. That's another freaking great one. Like it's a that's another great show. Actually, I think I actually did watch that all the way through 2 years ago, because 2 years ago, we, like, me and my family, we were in the process of moving. So we moved out of our old house. But the thing was that let's see, in the process of doing that, you know, we got to a point to where we where we were kind of like in house limbo. You know, they didn't exactly like, cause we got all the furniture out. You know, we or most, at least like 99% of the furniture, you know, we got it all out, put it in the storage, but then like for a good portion of the storage, you know, there's this house that my aunt owned, that nobody was living at the time because the original owner, her father, died. But she still, you know, had the, you know, it's just that she still owned, because I think like all the deeds or whatever was all passed on to her. But anyways, you know, she owned the house, and she said, you know, that, you know, we can use it as storage, and also what they did is that you know, me and my sister and my grandma and the dogs, you know, we all, you know, we moved out of the house and we moved into that house along with all of our stuff at the time. Well, I mean, a good portion of our stuff, and it was meant to be like a halfway house, you know, because my parents had to jump through many hurdles just to, you know, just to sell the house that we were living in, but it didn't like, see, and too, they also had to jump a few hurdles to end up buying the house that we currently live in right now. It was an entire freaking like season. It was like a TV show going on, man. Like, that's there's one point where I was like, man, we're not gonna be able to be in the new house by the time I start online school. Because and the reason why I had a big problem with that is because the halfway house that we were living in, it had no internet whatsoever, and the internet plan we had at the time didn't really work too well within the freaking lead-filled walls of that old 1970s home, and also too freaking like. And my, like, really, what I would use the freaking mobile data for would just be like scroll on Facebook and stuff. But my sister, like, oh my freaking god, she has all these damn social media apps, YouTube and everything, Snapchat. Like, she has all these damn apps running all the time. She's always using them, sucking up all the LTE, and like it got so bad to the point to where, like, not even a week staying at that house, my parents had to turn off the mobile data because it was costing them too damn much. Now, if they had the plan that we currently have now, which is 10 gigabytes across the whole family, which she still uses the most, but I mean, but still, it was like she would at least still have all these other gigabytes to play with. Like, damn, like, God, man, like, I wish we had that back in that day, because I was so bored in that house. Like, because I thought we were only going to be there for like a couple of weeks, so I didn't bother opening up my boxes with the game consoles in them, which at the time all I had was a Switch, an NES, and the Genesis. But damn, but we were in there for so long, and I just got so bored because I couldn't get on Facebook, I couldn't get on YouTube because the internet data was turned off, and so what it ended up doing was, I freaking lost it. I opened up the boxes with my game consoles in it, set them up, and then I also set up a DVD player. And because I couldn't watch YouTube, so I had to go back to the next best thing and just start watching DVDs. But I didn't want to replay the same movie over and over again, or I didn't want to. I kind of wanted to, play a different movie every day, but then again, I wasn't really. I was too lazy, and but my sister was home all day, so she would do that. But also, let's see. I went to Walmart, and I got this idea, of, hey, why don't I just get like entire collections of, or not entire, entire series, of a TV show. And at the time, the only one I could find was Roseanne, and knowing that my mom really loved that show, I thought, hey, it's a win-win, shoot, like, she gets the entire show, and I get some to watch, freaking while I'm at that house all day with no internet. So we put that show on, and let's see, for the most part, because at the time I still went to work. I still had to go to work, and I still came home pretty late. So while my sister would be like up a few episodes ahead of me, I would have to sit down and catch up. But it was fun doing that though. And shoot, I would still have that entire collection today if it weren't for the fact that my parents, they continue to watch the show, but they watch it on freaking Hulu now. So freaking, like, they don't even touch the DVDs no more. So I ended up selling that DVD set so I can afford some. I sold that DVD set along with a bunch of other stuff so I can afford some money for my first anime convention, which I am proud of, which I do not regret. So, but anyways, back to TV shows. Let's see. Well, I'm at the last 8 minutes of the podcast, so I'm going to try to wrap up this little topic here. Anything on freaking Nick at Night. Or at least, anything at Nick at Night, from like 2009 to like 2013. Because that was like that was definitely at the prime era that I was actually watching Nick at Night. I have no idea what Nick at Night's posting anymore. I have no idea what Nick at Night put on their channel because literally the last time I watched Nick at Night, they started airing Full House, and that was like the news show that they started broadcasting on that channel, and that was actually around the time where I stopped watching Nick at Night, because not so much because I just didn't like Nick at Night anymore. It's more so because at that time I just kind of stopped watching TV, because even today I don't watch TV anymore. It's been literal years since I watched TV. I'm on the internet now. I'm on the internet more these days now. And if I'm not on the internet, I'm playing video games. And if I'm not playing video games, I'm watching anime online. So I'm doing anything but watching TV anymore. Actually, freaking almost a decade ago, that became apparent. So my parents, they scrambled around looking for a deal to where they would just support the internet and phones, and which they did, because I mean, because why pay extra for all these cable channels whenever we weren't watching them, so. So they got rid of the cable, and they continued with the whole Netflix, PureFlix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and all that kind of stuff now. And I just continued with my video games and anime and stuff. So, but definitely, man, 2009 to 2013, Nick at Night, everything from Glenn Martin DDS, George Lopez, Everybody Hates Chris, Family Matters. Man, that's another one of my freaking top favorite shows. Like, God, like Steve Urkel, you can't beat the Urk, man. You can't beat the Urkel. And actually, too, like before we started watching Roseanne, funny enough, freaking Family Matters. That was like the first show we all started kind of binging together as a family during this whole move. And I remember even watching like the last episode, like I kind of shed a tear because I was like, wow, like I never actually watched the whole show through before, and I kind of felt really attached to the characters and stuff. I mean, I think that was also kind of the point, but still, like, wow, just like really freaking wow. Shoot, God, like it's. I freaking love TV shows, man. I really do. And actually, even for the longest time when I wanted to be a filmmaker, like the funny thing was that I didn't really watch very many movies, or at least I think I didn't. I definitely, like, more than anything else, I watched more TV shows than anything. So I thought, if I would still be a filmmaker, but I think like. I still wanted to be a director and stuff, so I think it's more like instead of more like for movies, I would definitely be a director for TV shows. And right now I don't. I'm not. That kind of ship has kind of sailed. I'm off to doing I'm focusing on different things right now. Filmmaking is not so much my focus anymore these days. It's more so ministry work and stuff, or singing or whatever. So I'm doing different things now. But damn, like TV shows, great stories, great music, great characters, and they just bring me back, man. They bring me back to different points in my life. And God, like if I can one of these days, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, screw it. Alongside my anime, I'm gonna start rewatching all these shows, because why the hell not? I freaking love these shows. And these are shows from my childhood. These are shows that I grew up with. These are the last shows that I watched. When I was when I was watching TV. Like, shoot, or back in the day when I would watch TV. Shoot, like back in the day back when TV was fun. I'm not too sure about TV these days, because I'm not actively watching TV anymore. I'm just not. But God, like, shoot, if I can go back and experience it all over again, you bet your freaking rear I would. Damn. So here we are, the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the podcast. So I'm gonna really wrap things up here. Let's see. So. Going back to the original topic that kind of started, the whole like TV show, video games or whatever thing. There's the coffee situation. How I didn't like how I don't really like coffee. Well, I love energy drinks, man. Like, I love going to different gas stations, and trying out all like the gas station exclusives. Freaking like the champagne flavor Bang, that's my absolute favorite. Or back whenever the freaking Ripper energy juice, the Ripper Monster energy juice existed. That was so good. I could only find that in a couple of gas stations. Just going around, looking for like energy drinks. Definitely, even if it's like a certain brand like NOS or something like that, they would have like cherry and grape and stuff like that. And you can't find that in like Walmart or Food Town or anything. So it was always so exciting to actually like find them there. And I love energy drinks. I drink one before work every day, and it pumps me up for the entire day, and it helps me to stay awake. And definitely, like, if I'm just, if it's my day off, or if I don't have to work the next day, I drink one and I just game or watch or binge all night, and it's all Gucci, brother. It's all freaking good. I would elaborate more, but I only have like a minute left in the podcast, so I'm just gonna say my outros, man. So thank you for making it this far. Thank you for listening. This is your boy Asiago on the podcast known as 3 a.m. Thoughts at 5:40 a.m., which is almost 6 in the morning, so it's almost time for me to freaking go to bed, but I got a shower after this, so whatever. Here we go. Let's go. Thank you. Good night, or should I say good morning. Have a good one.